Hi, my name is Jessica Dumas, and I'm a professional speaker coach. And today I am really excited to be interviewing Rosie Yeung. Rosie, welcome. I'm going to invite you to introduce yourself to the listeners.
Thanks, Jessica. It's a pleasure to be with you as well. So, my name is Rosie Yeung. I'm a speaker, coach, podcaster, and strategist for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I founded my company, Changing Lenses, to help leaders grow more inclusive and organizations grow more human.
Wonderful. That's so much information in there. Tell us a little bit about justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Yeah. So for me, it's something that I feel I've been really passionate about my whole life. It comes under a number of terms. You may have heard social justice or social equity as well. And it's really, for me, a marrying of my business and corporate background, as well as my passion for social justice and helping people that are marginalized or vulnerable in our societies in some way. So I personally know what it's like to be excluded. I know what it's like to be told that you're not good enough and to be forced to compete with other people who already come into the game with an advantage over you. So, as a cisgendered female immigrant Chinese Canadian person with episodic invisible disabilities, I know that's a lot as well. But I have experienced both sides of privilege. And I'm very fortunate right now to be at a place in my career where I can use my professional skills and my lived experience to speak up for those who aren't being heard.
That's incredible. Such important work. I'm so happy that you're doing this work. What made you want to do this with your life full time?
I think I've been working on this in a certain way. I've been working on this my whole life. My career as a professional accountant and as a professional HR leader has been in business and then not for profit. Even as a professional accountant, my clients, I gravitated towards charities and not for profits. If there is sort of a turning point or a decision point for me, I think it was when the entire world reached a turning point last year with COVID, with the murder of George Floyd, and I see that we're kind of at this tipping point right now where in our workplaces we've learned to do things a whole new way. Things have been kind of turned upside down. And so I actually feel like corporations and people are actually in the best place we've ever been to truly start making the radical changes that are necessary to bring down systems of racism and discrimination.
Amazing. That's very exciting to hear that you have done that in the last little while. Like it's really inspiring to see that you've taken a time where everyone is challenged with, what's happening in the world, and you decided to do this full time. So that's really inspiring in itself. I'm curious what your experience has been like as a professional speaker myself. I know that it takes a lot of courage and bravery to really speak about your own personal experiences. So, what has that been like for you?
Great question. And I think you really hit on it with that word courage, because I'm generally an open person with my friends and people that I know. But taking this message public has required, for sure, a lot of courage and a lot of getting over my own sense of discomfort, especially as a professional accountant and HR leader. I'm very risk averse. We're taught to be very conservative and to be sensitive to privacy and confidentiality. So it's only because this work is so important and I'm so passionate about it that I'm now putting myself out there for the sake of the people that I'm advocating for.
Fantastic. So, what do you hope that when people find your work, what do you hope is one of the first things that they do?
Well, the concept of changing lenses is to see people and our world differently than we have so far. And the name itself, Changing Lenses, came from this really powerful analogy that I heard. If you imagine a magnifying glass or a microscope and looking at a drop of water, what you see looking through the magnifying glass is totally different from what you see looking just with the naked eye, but it's the same drop of water. So what you see is different from what you're looking at. And what I really hope my listeners open their ears and their eyes to is what microscope or what lens are they seeing the world with? What lens do they come with already? Because what a white man or even a white woman's experience of career success, of business success, and how to get there is not the same as it is for a Black person or an Indigenous person or any racialized person. And so, as we all recognize our own lenses, because we all have them, it's not just white people, then we can all change our lenses and then we see through the eyes of people who are different from ourselves. And maybe my biggest hope is that my listeners will feel accepted and welcome themselves, that they're not being judged, but rather I'm on the same journey to grow in more inclusive myself, and we're in this together, just maybe at different starting points. So now is the time when we can really make a huge impact by taking that journey together.
Amazing. I love it. And it's so exciting. I'm so happy that you're doing this work. So, how can people reach you?
So the best way to reach me is probably through my website, which is Changing Lenses, and that's lenses, lenses.ca. So changinglenses.ca. And you'll find all of my podcasts and my written articles and video recordings there as well. You can contact me directly there through the form, and there's ways to reach me by email and social media.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rosie. And we look forward to checking out changinglenses.ca.
Thanks, Jessica.